You were meant to be a disruptor and an interrupter. You were meant to shake things up. You were meant to cause a shift in the consciousness of the collectively unconscious. You were created for this. Empath awakened as you continue to integrate your shadow. Go within and look at some of the things that were unmet with most of your life. Some of the things that have been hidden away from your own consciousness because of the fact you were groomed, conditioned, and trained by parents and the environment to just go along, to get along. This is why you caught so much hell. This is why everything was an uphill battle, because your consciousness rebelled. Your inner consciousness, even though you might have not been conscious of why you resisted and why you were so oppositional in spirit, in consciousness, or in your conscience. This is why once you awakened and go on to do the shadow work and you begin to work on what you call individuation, that is bringing the shadow part of you, which is things that we haven't dealt with throughout life. We were told not to be this or that way. These are the things you begin to challenge and channel through and work through and meet with these things and gain peace with these things. Then you incorporate those things that you have went in to investigate as far as that shadow, and then you integrate those with the things that you have been aware of in your life, your strengths. So you look within and you see these inadequacies, these insufficiencies, deficiencies, these inadequacies, all of these things that make you a whole person. This is what you call integration, and this leads you into a point of individuation. This is where you get to a point where you're not really concerned about fanfare. You're not really doing a certain thing in your life to gain approval from people outside of yourself. You approve the things that you do. You believe within your heart and in your soul and in your spirit that these are the things innately that you are created to do, say, and produce. It's not that complicated once you begin to do this individuation, because you're going to see that you're organically, naturally, authentically where you ought to be. So these things and these hang-ups that you had hanging over your head or you had pushed down in your past, whereas now you ran from, whereas it opposed to the past, you ran from them, you ran to these things. You gained peace with these things. You've come to a point where you know that as a human being created by God, these are not things that are to make you so in shame and so embarrassed and so inferior to the point where you are stunning your own purpose. So you're not really concerned about the approval of other people. Now, don't get it twisted. We come to disrupt. This is the way we were created. But in disrupting things, this is not something you're doing purposely. This is something that happens because of your aura and your existence and your vibration. Your energetic vibration is what causes the disruption. And it interrupts. It interrupts the natural order of things by way of most people in society. You don't have to speak to disrupt this order that has been put in place by the conscious collective. You're the one that sticks out like a sore thumb. You're the one that's the last man, last woman out. You're the one that don't see what the big fuss about. You're the one that don't see while everybody is so over the top and super excited about this or that when they are not excited about having real, solid, organic deep conversations. It's always surface level stuff that people tend to want to do cartwheels about. And you and I once were involved in those same things. But again, it did not resonate with who we were. It didn't feel the same. It didn't hit the same. And so this is not to put us on a pedestal either. It is to actually enlighten us to become more aware of who we are and who we're designed to be. This is where it starts and this is where it finishes at. You know, there is no prophet that is rewarded while they're alive. Always remember that, guys. And when I use that word prophet, that is just simply, I mean it in the context of people and individuals that have been created by God to do a designated purpose. And they are a foreshadow and they are a voice. They are a voice even when they don't speak. God is speaking through them by their mere existence to the people that have pretty much shut their eyes and ears to what is reasonable, righteous service to the Creator. They've turned a blind eye to what is good. And their eyes wide open for all the foolishness that makes no sense. This is why it's a round and round merry-go-round of things. If you notice, when you start backing away from things that didn't appeal to you to begin with, when you consciously begin to back away from these things, it will become more vivid how they are just repetitive. They're just like a round, and you know where it begins and it ends. You already know the anticipated end. You know the programmed beginning. And this is why you're the disruptor, because they can sense and see and feel. Your vibration doesn't jive with theirs. Even though you're in the midst of them and you may not even be speaking a word, you make these low vibrational individuals uncomfortable. You disrupt and you interrupt their flow. Now, it may be 10 to 1. They don't disrupt your flow. And this is what equally, if not more so, disrupts, agitates, upsets, gets them to begin to act out of character. Start making insinuations, start making accusations, start character assassinating you, not knowing anything about you. It all makes sense, guys, once you start becoming in tune with who you are as an individual. You start gaining your strength from God, asking Him to continue to guide you, and He will in the way that He's already created you to go. You just have to learn to complement the vibration that He's input in you. He's put that vibrational frequency in you. And before you knew what you know now and are continuing to know more and more so, it was the low vibration that came to interrupt you. But once you become aware of what you are and what you were created to do by design, by creation, you disrupt. This makes all good sense why they wanted to interrupt and disrupt your frequency. And in many cases, they did. When they met you, your frequency was vibrating high. You were on an energetic level, notwithstanding anything you did outside of yourself. They knew, they recognized it on sight. They recognized it as soon as you came within their presence. They heard about you. And so once you become familiar with who you are, the more you become familiar with who you are, it is going to be liberating. It's going to at times be seen as a blessing and a burden. But that is a burden worth bearing, because you're not going to have these conversations that lead nowhere. You're going to begin to isolate yourself in ways that you didn't anticipate you would. You're going to begin to not be interested or have any enthusiasm about doing some of the things with regards to certain groupings that you had before. And it's not because you're better. It is because you've focused on what the things within you register along with your vibration. And these things will not register with your vibration. And the people will realize that, and they will distance themselves from you. They will go on to try to overshadow your distance with either silent treatments, skepticism of all sorts, to which you're not going to be concerned about. You will become very unbothered by it. And this further disrupts and interrupts everything and anything that low vibrational people have going on. So the distance that you begin to gain from your solitude and just integrating your vibrations and your dark shadows and the individuations and all of this stuff, just challenging yourself to know you and your purpose. The distance from low vibrational people will automatically begin to happen. But it also will be a price on the other side of that, because you will feel longing, you will feel this loneliness, and it'll come and go. But then you will quickly reflect on the fact that you've been alone from the beginning. You've been alone from the beginning. And when you look at it that way, you will just understand that this aloneness that you feel is just that. It's a familiar thing that you're accustomed to. The belonging is what is bothering you. That's what's bothering you beneath the surface. And so you're breaking away from that belonging. You're detaching from that belonging. And that's the only thing that's going on. So the upside of that feeling is the fact that you know that's a clear sign that you are gaining more and more and more attunement to who you really are. To know thyself is to know another. I think if you know yourself very well, in and out, through and through, on a regular, consistent basis, you will understand those who are not in alignment with you. And being in alignment with you means everything, especially when you have a calling such as this. Our existence, our presence is what's been created in us by God to bring about a major shift in society, in this world order. For those who are crying out within, from within, that are hurting, that have this yearning to know and believe and feel that there's something more. They too, like we once did, they have that longing, and we are the ones that are supposed to make this make sense. Our presence to begin with is what's supposed to make this make sense to them. And believe me, the Creator will make that be a reality. So just hold the course. Don't worry about all things lost. Concern yourself with all things gained. And again, before I close, this is nothing in no way, shape, or form for us individuals to believe that we are superior in any way, shape, or form. You've just been given a select mission to do a select thing. Just like powers of darkness have been given a select thing. So hold to that thought. That being said, bless.